Greetings, seekers of truth and understanding. Today we explore a profound aspect of human experience that often perplexes and intrigues us: the spiritual meaning behind thinking about someone constantly. This phenomenon is more than mere infatuation or obsession. It's a gateway to deeper spiritual truths about our interconnectedness and the nature of consciousness itself. Many of us have experienced that peculiar state where a certain person occupies our thoughts with unusual frequency and intensity. It might be someone we know well, a passing acquaintance, or even a stranger we've only encountered briefly. This persistent thinking can feel both exhilarating and unsettling, leaving us wondering about its significance in our spiritual journey. As we delve into this topic, we'll uncover the layers of meaning behind this experience, exploring its connection to our soul's growth, the concept of spiritual resonance, and the hidden messages the universe might be conveying through these persistent thoughts. We'll also examine practical ways to navigate this experience, harnessing its potential for personal transformation while avoiding the pitfalls of attachment and projection. Let's begin by understanding the nature of thought itself. Thoughts are not merely electrical impulses in our brains, they're energetic frequencies that interact with the fabric of reality. When we think about someone constantly, we're essentially tuning into their energetic frequency, creating a connection that transcends physical proximity. This connection is not random or meaningless. It often signifies a soul-level recognition or a karmic tie that's surfacing in our consciousness. The person we're thinking about may be a soulmate, a twin flame, or someone with whom we have unfinished business from past lives. Alternatively, they might embody qualities or experiences that our soul is currently seeking to integrate or understand. Consider the last time you found yourself consumed by thoughts of someone. What was the quality of these thoughts? Were they accompanied by strong emotions? Did you feel a sense of familiarity or recognition that went beyond your actual knowledge of this person? These are clues that point to the deeper spiritual significance of the experience. One of the primary reasons we might think about someone constantly is that they're mirroring aspects of ourselves that we need to acknowledge or heal. This mirroring can be both positive and challenging. The person might reflect our highest potential, inspiring us to grow and evolve. Or they might trigger our deepest wounds, bringing to light areas that require healing and integration. This mirroring effect is a fundamental principle of spiritual growth. The external world serves as a reflection of our inner reality, and the people who capture our attention are often key players in this divine drama of self-discovery. By paying close attention to the qualities that draw us to the person we're thinking about, we can gain profound insights into our own psyche and soul journey. Moreover, constant thoughts about someone can be a form of energetic communication. On a subtle level, we're constantly exchanging information with the universe and other beings. These persistent thoughts might be a way for our higher self to alert us to important connections or lessons. They might also be a sign that the other person is thinking of us or sending energy our way, consciously or unconsciously. This brings us to an important question: how do we distinguish between spiritually significant thoughts and mere psychological fixation? The key lies in the quality of the thoughts and the feelings they evoke. Spiritually significant thoughts often come with a sense of expansion, insight, or deep recognition. They might challenge us to grow or see things from a new perspective. In contrast, fixation tends to feel constricting, repetitive, and driven by fear or attachment. As we navigate this experience, it's crucial to maintain a balance between openness to spiritual messages and grounded discernment. Not every persistent thought carries profound spiritual meaning, and it's important not to project excessive significance onto every fleeting connection. At the same time, dismissing these experiences entirely might cause us to miss valuable opportunities for growth and connection. In our exploration of this topic, we must also consider the ethical implications of focusing our thoughts intensely on another person. While we can't control every thought that enters our mind, we do have a responsibility to manage the energy we're directing towards others. Constant thinking, especially if it's charged with strong emotions, can create an energetic connection that impacts the other person, for better or worse. This raises profound questions about free will, energetic boundaries, and the nature of spiritual connection. How do we honor the spiritual significance of our thoughts while respecting the autonomy of others? What responsibility do we bear for the energy we're sending out into the world through our focused attention? In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into the concept of spiritual resonance and how it relates to persistent thoughts about others. We'll explore techniques for discerning the true nature of these thoughts and how to use them as tools for spiritual growth and self-understanding. What hidden wisdom might we uncover by closely examining the patterns of our thoughts? How can we transform this common human experience into a catalyst for profound spiritual awakening? As we venture deeper into the mystical realm of persistent thoughts, we uncover a profound concept that lies at the heart of this phenomenon: spiritual resonance. Imagine, if you will, that each soul emits a unique frequency, much like a musical note in the grand symphony of existence. When we encounter someone whose soul resonates with ours, it creates a harmonic vibration that echoes through our consciousness, manifesting as persistent thoughts. This resonance can occur for various reasons. Sometimes it's because the other person embodies qualities or experiences that our soul is currently exploring or seeking to integrate. Other times it may be due to a shared past life connection or a karmic tie that's ripe for resolution in this lifetime. The constant thoughts serve as a spiritual tuning fork, alerting us to these significant connections and inviting us to pay attention. But how do we distinguish between mere attraction or obsession and true spiritual resonance? The key lies in the quality of the thoughts and the feelings they evoke. Spiritual resonance often brings a sense of expansiveness, a feeling of recognition that goes beyond the physical or personality level. It might come with flashes of insight, synchronicities, or a deep knowing that defies logical explanation. Consider the last time you experienced this phenomenon. Did the thoughts about the person bring you closer to your authentic self? Did they inspire you to grow, to question your assumptions, or to see the world in a new light? These are signs that the connection is serving a higher spiritual purpose, acting as a catalyst for your soul's evolution. However, we must be cautious not to romanticize or idealize these connections. Not every persistent thought pattern indicates a deep spiritual bond. Sometimes our minds fixate on others due to unresolved emotional issues, fear, or a desire to escape our own inner work. It's crucial to approach these experiences with discernment, honesty, and a willingness to look within. One powerful way to discern the nature of these thoughts is through meditation and self-reflection. By quieting the mind and turning our attention inward, we can better sense the true source and purpose of our persistent thoughts. Are they coming from a place of lack, fear, or attachment? Or do they arise from a deeper place of recognition and spiritual alignment? As we cultivate this discernment, we may find that some of our persistent thoughts are indeed spiritually significant, while others are simply the mind's habitual patterns. Both offer opportunities for growth and self-understanding. The key is to approach them with curiosity and non-attachment, allowing them to reveal their lessons without becoming overly fixated on the outcome. Moreover, we must consider the ethical implications of focusing our thoughts intensely on another person. While we can't control every thought that enters our mind, we do have a responsibility to manage the energy we're directing towards others. Constant thinking, especially if it's charged with strong emotions, can create an energetic connection that impacts the other person, for better or worse. This raises profound questions about free will, energetic boundaries, and the nature of spiritual connection. How do we honor the spiritual significance of our thoughts while respecting the autonomy of others? What responsibility do we bear for the energy we're sending out into the world through our focused attention? Perhaps the answer lies in cultivating a practice of conscious thought. Instead of allowing our minds to fixate unconsciously on others, we can choose to direct our thoughts with intention and compassion. When we find ourselves thinking persistently about someone, we can pause and ask, what is the highest good for all involved in this situation? How can I honor this connection in a way that respects both our journeys? By approaching our persistent thoughts with this level of awareness and intentionality, we transform them from potential sources of attachment or projection into powerful tools for spiritual growth and conscious co-creation. We begin to see these thought patterns not as random occurrences, but as meaningful threads in the tapestry of our spiritual journey, each offering its own unique wisdom and opportunity for evolution. As we conclude this segment, I invite you to reflect on the persistent thoughts you've experienced in your own life. What hidden wisdom might they contain? How might they be guiding you towards greater self-understanding or spiritual growth? And most importantly, how can you engage with these thoughts in a way that honors both your own journey and the sacred autonomy of others? In this segment, we delve into the transformative power of our persistent thoughts and explore how we can alchemize them into catalysts for profound spiritual growth. Just as ancient alchemists sought to turn base metals into gold, we too can learn to transmute our mental fixations into spiritual wisdom and enlightenment. The first step in this alchemical process is to recognize that our thoughts, even those that seem obsessive or uncontrollable, are not our enemies. They are messengers from our deeper self, carrying important information about our desires, fears, and spiritual needs. When we think about someone constantly, it's often because they represent something significant in our own psyche or soul journey. To begin the transformation, we must shift our perspective from seeing these thoughts as a problem to be solved to viewing them as a mystery to be explored. This shift allows us to approach our mental patterns with curiosity and openness rather than resistance or judgment. One powerful technique for working with persistent thoughts is to dialogue with them. Imagine the thought as a sentient being with its own wisdom and purpose. Ask it, why are you here? What do you want me to know? What aspect of myself are you reflecting? This practice can yield surprising insights, revealing hidden motivations or unacknowledged parts of ourselves that are seeking integration. As we engage in this inner dialogue, we may discover that our persistent thoughts about someone are actually pointing us towards unresolved issues within ourselves. Perhaps the person we're fixating on embodies qualities we admire but haven't fully developed in ourselves. Or maybe they trigger old wounds or fears that we've been avoiding. By facing these inner realities, we can use our persistent thoughts as a map for our own healing and growth. Another alchemical practice is to consciously redirect the energy of our thoughts. Instead of allowing our mind to spin in circles around the object of our fixation, we can channel that mental energy into creative or spiritual pursuits. This might involve writing, art, meditation, or acts of service inspired by the qualities we admire in the person we're thinking about. This redirection serves two purposes. First, it honors the spiritual significance of our thoughts by using them as fuel for positive action. Second, it helps to break the cycle of passive fixation, empowering us to engage actively with the energies these thoughts have awakened in us. As we work with our persistent thoughts in this way, we may find that they begin to lose their grip on us. What once felt like an obsession starts to transform into a source of inspiration and growth. We become less attached to the specific person or outcome and more attuned to the deeper spiritual lessons and opportunities they represent. However, this process of transformation is not always easy or linear. There may be times when we fall back into old patterns of fixation or find ourselves struggling with intense emotions. It's crucial to approach this journey with compassion for ourselves and patience with the process. Each moment of awareness, each small shift in perspective, is a victory on the path of spiritual alchemy. Moreover, as we engage in this inner work, we must remain mindful of the energetic impact our thoughts may have on others. While we can't control every thought that enters our mind, we can choose how we engage with and direct those thoughts. By cultivating an attitude of loving kindness and respect for the autonomy of others, we ensure that our inner alchemy doesn't inadvertently create energetic entanglements or boundary violations. This raises an important question: how do we balance our own spiritual growth with respect for the free will and journey of others? Perhaps the answer lies in recognizing that true spiritual connection is not about possession or control, but about mutual growth and evolution. When we approach our persistent thoughts from this perspective, we open ourselves to the possibility of genuine spiritual resonance that honors the sacred individuality of all beings. As we continue to explore the alchemy of thought, we might ask ourselves, how can we use our mental energy as a force for positive transformation, not just for ourselves but for the world around us? What would change in our lives and relationships if we approached every persistent thought as an opportunity for spiritual growth and conscious creation? In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into practical techniques for harnessing the power of persistent thoughts and explore how this inner alchemy can lead to profound shifts in our external reality. How might our world transform if we all learn to transmute our mental fixations into spiritual gold? As we arrive at the final movement of our exploration, we find ourselves at the precipice of a profound realization. The persistent thoughts we experience are not isolated phenomena occurring solely within our individual minds. They are part of a vast, interconnected web of consciousness that spans the entire cosmos. Imagine, if you will, that every thought is like a ripple in the universal ocean of consciousness. When we think about someone constantly, we're creating powerful waves that resonate not only with the object of our thoughts, but with the entire fabric of reality. This understanding elevates our perspective from personal psychology to cosmic choreography. In this light, our persistent thoughts become a form of co-creation with the universe. We're not merely passive observers of reality, but active participants in shaping it. This realization brings with it both immense power and profound responsibility. How we direct our thoughts, especially those intense, persistent ones, can influence the unfolding of our personal and collective reality. To harness this power consciously, we must cultivate a state of heightened awareness. This doesn't mean controlling every thought, an impossible task, but rather developing the ability to observe our thoughts with clarity and choose which ones to energize. When we notice ourselves thinking persistently about someone, we can pause and ask, is this thought aligned with the highest good for all? Am I contributing to a reality of love, growth, and harmony? This practice of conscious thought becomes a form of meditation in action. Every moment becomes an opportunity to align our mental energy with our highest spiritual intentions. As we do this consistently, we may find that our persistent thoughts naturally shift from patterns of fixation or obsession to frequencies of inspiration and spiritual connection. Moreover, this awareness allows us to recognize when our persistent thoughts are actually messages from the universe. Sometimes, thinking constantly about someone is a form of intuitive knowing, alerting us to important connections or opportunities for growth. By staying attuned to these subtle cues, we can navigate our life journey with greater wisdom and grace. As we integrate this understanding, we begin to see our relationships and interactions in a new light. Every person who enters our thoughts becomes a potential partner in our spiritual evolution. Even challenging or painful thought patterns can be seen as invitations to heal, grow, and expand our consciousness. In this cosmic dance of consciousness, there are no coincidences. Every persistent thought, every intense connection, every moment of fixation is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. By embracing these experiences with openness, wisdom, and love, we transform our inner world and, by extension, the world around us. As we conclude our journey, we're left with a profound question. How will you engage with your persistent thoughts from this moment forward? Will you see them as burdens to be eliminated, or as gateways to deeper spiritual truths? The choice is yours, and in that choice lies the power to shape not only your own reality but the very fabric of the cosmos.